Social media, is like the new MTV for today's teens. In many ways, it's the go-to source for entertainment, culture, news, and yes, even social connections.
Mm, it's interesting how what used to be TV then has now, become something that teens just can't live without, right?
Exactly. It's like, back in the day, MTV was our window to the world, and now social media kinds of fills that role for teens.
Right.
It's a blend of news, entertainment, and, unfortunately, pitfalls.
And those pitfalls are pretty significant, ranging from cyberbullying to, damaging effects on self-esteem.
Absolutely. And what's really eye-opening is how much time teens spend on these platforms, which can lead to mental health issues like depression and anxiety.
Yeah, and it's kind of ironic, isn't it? The same platforms connecting them also act as a breeding ground for negative comparisons and unrealistic expectations.
Right? And there are suggestions for parents, like setting clear limits on screen time and even encouraging activities outside the digital realm. It's about balance.
True. Speaking of balance, what do you think about this recommendation for parents to, friend their teens on social media to stay in the loop?
That's a good point. Social media is so multifaceted. It's like, um, parents need to be involved enough to guide, but not so much that they invade privacy. It's a
Right.
delicate dance.
I agree. But don't you think that might feel a bit, I don't know, overbearing to some teens if not handled right?
Yeah, I get that. And it's important that it's done with genuine care and open conversation. Not like watching over every click, but more like checking in and being a trusted confidant.
Exactly. Being a friend rather than a controller. What else can parents do?
Well, they can start by setting expectations around privacy, like urging their teens to keep their accounts private. This way, fewer strangers can get in and potentially cause harm.
That makes sense. And then there's the whole idea of parental controls, right? But sometimes I worry that too much reliance on these controls could stifle trust between parents and teens.
Exactly. And that's a point where I actually respectfully disagree a bit. Controls should be viewed more as safety nets rather than spying tools. If communicated well, they can, actually foster a safer environment without breaking trust.
True, true. It's all about how it's pitched. If it's like mutual agreement, the teen is more likely to see it as a safety measure rather than a crackdown.
Right. And another valuable piece of advice is for parents to create tech-free zones and times, like family dinners or movie nights, to encourage real-life interactions. It's like you
Yeah, totally.
practice what you preach.
Exactly. Leading by example. And then there's the notion of discussing the consequences of posting too much online, like the permanence of a digital footprint.
That's crucial. Social media isn't just fleeting entertainment. It leaves footprints that can impact a teen's future.
Absolutely.
Talking about these issues openly, like discussing cyberbullying and legal consequences, is vital.
Yeah, and sometimes these conversations can be tough to start, but repeating them often seems key.
Right. It's like, if you don't talk about it, things might escalate without anyone noticing until it's too late. Open dialogue can help mitigate many of the risks associated with excessive social media use.
And what's impressive is how today's teens rely on these platforms, not just for fun, but also for, staying connected during hard times like the COVID era.
Exactly. Which shows a positive side. Social media can be a lifeline. It helps them maintain relationships and even seek support when needed.
Uh-huh, yes. But then, of course, the constant barrage of comparison and the highlight reel effect can really deeply influence their self-esteem.
It absolutely does. And that's where parents need to help balance the narrative, pointing out that social media is a curated, performance-driven space, not the full picture of
Right.
reality.
That comparison trick is like so pervasive. Do you think there are any quick wins for parents to help teens differentiate between real life and the online persona?
Yes, one approach is to showcase the positive aspects by engaging in social media together, laughing at funny videos, discussing constructive content, and even following creators who promote positive messages.
That helps create a more balanced perspective. It almost seems like Doing social media well is a skill, one that teens need to learn just like any other social skill.
Absolutely, and it's not all bad. Social media can be educational and inspirational. There's a treasure trove of content if you look in the right places.
Yep, exactly. And yet, the article we're discussing really highlights that, the negatives, like excessive exposure leading to mental health struggles, can't be ignored.
Right. And there's a clear call to action for consistent check ins and conversations between parents and teens. It's about creating boundaries, expectations, and consequences, which, set a positive in the household.
And one thing I really appreciated was the advice about limiting social media during school hours, especially given how incidents of online-fueled conflicts have been reported.
Yeah, keeping phones aside during school can reduce distractions and even prevent, the misuse of social media for things like organizing conflicts or violence.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like the balanced approach here is to, recognize the value of social media while also being keenly aware of its dangers.
Precisely. It's about, using it as a tool rather than letting it use you. In this digital age, where teens are experts navigating online worlds, they still need guidance to avoid the dark corners of the internet.
Spot on. And by dark corners, we mean everything from cyberbullying to risky interactions with strangers, right?
Exactly. And another proactive step is for parents to educate themselves continuously about the platforms their teens are using because, these sites change faster than you can blink.
Right, very true. I suppose that's where resources like guides and expert articles become indispensable tools for parents.
Yes, it's like having a digital roadmap, helping navigate the ever changing landscape of social media while balancing its upsides and downsides.
Yep, that's the goal. And ultimately, it seems all of this boils down to open, honest dialogue and, mutual respect between teens and parents. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And if both sides commit to that, it can really transform how social media is consumed, turning potential pitfalls into opportunities for growth and connection.
Couldn't agree more.